Apparently, I was working until 2 a.m. in New York last night, and now I'm here with you guys. And I'm so excited. Thank you, that's makeup. So much makeup. Yeah. Sure. I know lots of Brooks, and I love them all. I think that, you know, Brooke is a very, though Greta does like a very, portrays her in a really singular way, and she's a very unique character. I think that kind of person that's really intimidating, but also really inspiring, exists, and I have spent a lot of time with people like that. As much as I would like to think of myself as a translator, I am very much a follower, and I have spent a lot of time being lost and relying on the kindness of almost strangers to guide me somewhere. So it was so fun to get to bring that, you know, represent that dynamic in the film. Yeah, well, I think that Noah and Greta set out to debunk the kind of National Lampoon Van Wilder image of college, because I think that while a lot of people do have the experience of starting their lives in college, I certainly didn't, especially my freshman year. I mean, that definitely changed, and I thought I'd spend the rest of my life in clogs on a farm because I went to school in the middle of nowhere, and grew to want to do those things. But I don't know, I mean, I think that the movie is not so much about college, but maybe more so about the myth of New York City. And I think that, you know, no one moves to New York to just kind of like hang out and have fun. Everyone, I think, gravitates to that place because you can become someone that you aren't already. And I think that that's what both of these characters are really trying to do in the film. Absolutely not. No, I don't think that Brooke is, or anyone really, is the antagonist. I mean, perhaps Dylan and Mamie Claire's character. I think more so Dylan. I mean, he really reveals himself to be not as kind of trustworthy, I think, when he says, you know, you shouldn't start the restaurant. But, like, we love him, and then, like, that is such a, like, slimy, gross part of the film to me. But I really think that this narrative is very different from a lot that we see. I don't think it can be, like, summarized into 3 punchy sentences, and the one that I see, like, Brooke is a lonely college freshman, Tracy's a lonely college freshman, and Brooke is a wild girl about town. It's like, kind of, yeah, sure, that's an aspect of it. But I guess in that, I think that they're both protagonists. I think that, you know, Tracy maybe fills that role a little bit more because she's like the Nick Carraway to Brooke's Gatsby. But what I also really like about the film is that it definitely is a new representation of women, or one that we don't see very much. And I feel like so often women are mediated by the male gaze in film, whether it's the director or a male character that loves them or hates them or whatever. And what I really like about this film is that Tracy is that male gaze. So she is the gazer, she's the observer. And so I don't think it's as simple as protagonist, antagonist.
Is this the suit though?
No, Noah works on this film, and I believe also on Francis Hall with a very small crew, so that we can shoot on like the Metro North train or shoot in Times Square more or less undetected.
Oh.
It felt more like
Undetected.
I don't know, right that. No, it felt more like a student film in like the scope of it, but being directed by Noah Baumbach. So it's the greatest student film ever made. It didn't. I mean, Noah and Greta are through and through writers, and I think that they write, and the beauty of Greta also being a wonderful actress is that she's writing dialogue that is good for actors, that isn't a mouthful to say. And they were very specific about us being word perfect in the film, so there's no improv or anything. But I can't remember it being particularly difficult to nail, just because it really flowed.
Relationship.
Well, I mean, I was just thinking in a way that it was kind of like Noah and Greta together are like Brooke in the movie. Like, they are this intimidating but inspiring and really like nurturing force, because this was like really the first movie I'd ever done. So I had nothing to compare it to, so that was just kind of the way it was. But that being said, they're a wonderful team, and Greta never betrayed her role as an actress in the film because she was also a writer and a producer. Larger budget. No, I just like to work with good people. And I've found that in all of the varying degrees of filmmaking that I've been in, or TV making or whatever, that, you know, as long as it's actor friendly, that it's really wonderful. It's different on every set. I mean, Noah and Greta were actor friendly in the way that they write great parts for actors, and you're not saying like bogus expositional stuff all the time. Like, because you're my grandmother, I can't hang out, whatever it is. Like, you're not saying that. It's more real, but it's better than real because they are good writers and they have a way of bringing like observations into a realistic tongue or something like that. And I think that on the Doug Lyman film that I just did, it was very actor-friendly because we would do the scene all the way through every single time. Like when you're doing coverage and you're breaking it up and we're picking it up from a part, like in the middle where I'm already screaming or laughing hysterically or whatever, that's like really difficult to get to. So that was cool because we would start the scene and just do it through every single time. And then also actor-friendly can just be having a really wonderful director who knows how to talk to you and give you adjustments. Well, I mean, I think that there's like that montage right before I meet Brooke where like things are picking up and I'm, getting an A in class or, the boy that I might like kind of seems to like me as well. And then, I think that there's discouragement in a way when I see Tony and Nicolette holding hands and then that's like lonely, which is interesting because in a lot of ways, while I don't think that male characters are the protagonist, are the catalyst in the film, in a way, perhaps like some feeling of rejection is inspires her to go eat 50 mozzarella sticks and call Brooke. But I think it's just like that simple thing of like, I came to New York and this isn't what I thought it would be, and like, what can I do next? How do I make this more interesting for myself?
And how many mozzarella sticks did give their lives in that scene?
50. Actually, Noah didn't tell me that you could use a spit bucket. And since we do so many takes, I think it was like his I'm gonna teach you. I mean, not in like a spiteful way, but like, let's see how many she can really do. And on the 50th mozzarella stick, he was like, give her a spit bucket. And that's how I learned how to eat in movies.
Valuable skill that you can take with you going forward.
Definitely, yeah.
Does he do a lot of takes now? Or
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think 30 would be the minimum of anything, including a pickup of like my hand picking up the pasta and things like that. There was one lady, we were like, we were doing a scene on a street in Brooklyn, and this woman like walked up and she was like, I would do the lockup down the street, like trying to prove to us that she made movies or something, and but interrupted our shot, which was so frustrating because we were doing it so many times. Yeah. And like then just kind of like shook her head and like said something. She became a big source of entertainment for us throughout the rest of it. But yeah, people would get involved. She was the main civilian that got involved. Not really. I mean, I feel like they trusted me to do what I did, and obviously adjustments were made in the scene. Noah has a really funny way of directing. It's not that he gives you line readings, but he just has a very like unique understanding of people, and so he would give just interesting remarks, which are now escaping me because of my sleep deprived brain. Sorry. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I write music and I sing and play guitar as well. And I like try to do watercolors, but I'm not very good at them, but it's fun. I don't know. I mean, writing is a healing thing for me, and I'm not sure how much of that I want to make public because I think that you're already very vulnerable when you put yourself out in the world in one way. I applaud and commend anybody who can, reveal all of the things that they do. But I don't know. I mean, it's not difficult to play characters who have other creative outlets because ultimately it's just expression and the desire to do that drives us all. Yeah, of course. But I mean, I'm an independent contractor. I just go and I do what I can, and I don't change who I am to do it.
But is it a really different experience from one to the other?
I mean, as I said before, Doug Lyman is very actor-friendly and very grounded, and Tom Cruise, I mean, is Tom Cruise, but he was incredibly friendly, and I didn't feel like I was going to shake and, like, die when I was around him. I did actually actually just had a really funny experience the other day where I was getting on the train to go do press in Philadelphia, and there was this older lady in front of me, and she was about to kill us all on the escalator. She had like a couple of bags that she couldn't get off on time, and I kind of grabbed them, and she turned around, and I realized it was Ellen Burstyn. I like felt more in that moment like I was going to die than I have in any other thing. And then I helped her to her seat, and she said, "What would I have done without you?" And I almost cried. But yeah, that was, I think, the most starstruck I've been in a long time. No, we didn't. It was all very much contained in the shooting process. But the shooting process, I don't know how much time you guys have spent on film sets. There's so much time that you're not doing anything, and especially as an actor. So we had a lot of time, and we didn't have trailers. There was no separation. Everyone was like sitting in the same place all the time when we weren't working. So I don't know, it was natural, and it happened. It was shot over 60 days, over like 4 months. So there was a lot of, I mean, I wouldn't say there was a lot of like fun time, like, you know, like, I mean, it was fun, but like not like we were just like sitting around doing nothing, but just lighting and all of that stuff. And there was a lot of just time. And I think working with someone in a creative way, you do I'm just lying to everyone.
You have to stop, Lola. It's my turn.
Now Greta will finish my sentence.
Thank you very much.